Again, I welcome you all to the third in the series of our Unlocking Your Potential, which is delivered by Brother Edris Khamissa. Brother Edris Khamissa is an international consultant who has a lot of great competencies in parenting, personal development, and what have you. He's been doing it for several years, and Brother Edris Khamissa has been a friend of Micah since 2005, and we've kept in touch with each other. And so, and he has also been gracious enough to speak with us in the last 3 weeks. Today is the last session, and I believe, inshallah, we are going to be better off for it. So, Bismillah, Brother Idris.
Right. Bismillah. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the Lord of all the worlds, to whom we belong and to whom is our return. And may His choicest blessings go to the highest of Allah's creation, our beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the most generous in companionship, the most gentle in speech, indeed the most eloquent ambassador for humanity at large. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to begin in my preamble just to speak about a few things. First, we've already had 2 sessions, and this is our 3rd session. The critical thing is this, an important aspect is this: to what extent you are taking ownership of your life, you are taking ownership of the fact that you are a mortal being and that you have to make someday when you are alive, as a tipping point in your life. Someday in your life when you say to yourself, I cannot go on blaming other people. I cannot go on using excuses. I cannot go on saying I do not have the time. I cannot go on blaming my childhood, my friends, my colleagues, that I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference. And I promised you last week that I'll give you some books to read. I've given you 11 titles. There are lots of other titles. And of course, what supersedes all of this is what? The Quran and the Seerah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But you have to and you must read, open your mind, be critical, and say to yourself that I am no more going to be a spectator in my life. So I want to begin by looking at a few basic things. There is a lovely book that I recommended. It's called The Productive Muslim. And this brother, you know, if you get a chance, invite him to your country. If you get a chance, you'll see how practical this book is. And in this book, he explores physical productivity, spiritual productivity. He gives a holistic response to life from an Islamic perspective. And one of the things that we have to understand, the only time in which you are free to do something really is in the mornings, am I right? After Fajr, that is your time. It's your time to develop yourself spiritually. It's your time to read the Quran and translation. It's your time to read the Seerah. It's your time to start a blog. It's your time to make a paradigm shift, to look at your purpose and goal and how you're going to spend the day. It's a time for reflection. The barakah at that time is unbelievable. What you can achieve in that short time, the 2 hours in the morning before you get to work, it is unlikely that you will achieve the same kind of productivity the rest of your day. And the critical thing is this. Today, what I'm going to engage you with is for you to do self-reflection. I want you to reflect on how much of time you spend on social media. Many of us have become such consumers of social media. It's the last thing we do before we go to bed, and many of us are guilty of it. And studies have shown that you got to cut off all social media at least 2 hours before you go to bed, because social media has a profound impact on your sleep patterns. The other very important thing I would like you to reflect on, your relationships, all your relationships, and to do something about it. And as I spoke the last time, I want you to reflect on your relationship with your friends and ask yourself, if I were to die today, how would they remember me? And it's good, you know, we are told that to die before your death. Is nice to ask them, how would you remember me? If they say, well, you know what, I don't know, that's frightening. But if they say, I would remember you because of your integrity, your honesty, your commitment, your generosity, you're a caring being. There are things that you shared with me, about me, that had a profound impact on my life. Then I say, my gosh, then you are winning. And that's a very important aspect that you need to understand. So I would like you to examine yourself, first do self-reflection, and ask others, your family members and friends, to do a evaluation or to share the perception with you. Spirituality is about your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know what's in your heart when you pray. You know what's in your heart when you read the Quran. You know what's in your heart. And you know whether there is room for improvement or there is no room for improvement. Then physically, you need to do a same evaluation. You need to look at your eating habits. What you eating? How much are you eating? Are you healthy? Now you may ask this question, what has health got to do with unleashing your potential, unlocking your potential? It has everything to do with it. When you are healthy, you are enthusiastic, you are a get up and go person, you do things with alacrity, you want to do things very, very quickly. You do not get tired when you read your salah. You have no excuses. It is not an uphill battle, for example, to get up from sujood and stand in salah. So these things are important. You are quick to respond. Then you need to look at yourself in terms of your health. How much of exercises do you do every day? And what the Ummah needs are people that are fit. So these are important aspects. The other aspect is your mind, your cognitive, your mind. What is it that goes on in your mind? Is that landscape a bleak landscape? Or is it a landscape that is fertile, bursting with growth? Because it is this interior landscape that projects the exterior landscape. You could be in a most vernal landscape, most beautiful landscape, but in your mind, it is bleak and is barren. It will project that onto the external landscape. And then you could ask yourself, why? Why am I like this? Try to look at the root issue. The next thing is this, ask yourself, am I positive or am I negative? What am I? Why should I be positive? When people see me, do they see me as a complainer? Do they see me as an individual that is moaning and groaning? Or they get excited when they see you? They feel, Alhamdulillah, that you are going to stimulate them. You also have a balance, you have a sense of humor. And when you look at him and you say, my gosh, I like it, I love it. So these are some of the things. Then you got to look at yourself in terms of your relationship to people. How are those relationships with people? Is it positive or is it negative? How are those relationships? You look at yourself and you say to yourself, you know what? The friends that I've got are wonderful, great friends. They are friends because I love them. They excite me, they stimulate me, and they make me grow. The next thing, do I read? Do I read? How much do I read? What do I read? Because you are often the product of your reading. And how critical are you when you read? Do you internalize that knowledge? Do you practice upon it? When the Sahaba learned anything, they internalized that knowledge and they practiced it. That's important, to practice it. And you must never give up doing that. Then you look at your relationship with members of your family. Ask them for feedback. Am I a good mother, a good father, a good brother, a good sister, a good son? These are important things. And remember this in life, those individuals that have made significant progress, they would share with you the impact the family life had on them, the friends, the teachers had on them. And that's an important thing, you see. So it's very, very important for you to live consciously and with intentionality. Then you look at yourself and the community. What are you doing? Having done all of that, then you could ask yourself this fundamental question. I have enough people to inspire me. I do enough reading. I'm spiritually developing. I'm developing morally, physically, cognitively, effectively, in every direction. But have I fulfilled my potential? What is my potential? And let me tell you, do not allow anyone to tell you otherwise. You were born to do great things. You were born to do great things. You know, I'm just listening to a small snippet from Sheikh Nouman Ali Khan. And it's a very, very illuminating story. He said, you know, after 4 years, he was invited to a particular masjid to perform the Jummah Khutbah. And then an Egyptian brother came to him. He said to him, my du'as have been accepted. Then he asked him, what do you mean? And he gave the name. He said, whatever, say Muhammad. Muhammad, duas, have been accepted. He said, "What are you, Muhammad?" He says, "No, I'm not Muhammad. There is a Muhammad that stays about 40 miles from here, and he is wanting to meet with you, wanting to meet with you." And anyway, this Muhammad stays in a home where they look after patients that are paralyzed, and he was paralyzed from the neck downwards. And he was a Christian, and he had a neighbor in the same ward who became his friend, and he was also paralyzed, and he left him and he said to him, "You know what, I'm going to miss you," because he left him because someone was going to give him a liver. He was going for a liver transplant. And then he said, "My gift to you is an amulet, the crucifix." And he said, "I put this crucifix on the side of my bed, and then I dreamt about Prophet Muhammad. And he said to me that we messengers come here to remind you about God, the Creator. And none of us is God." And then what happened, the Egyptian brother who spoke to Noman Ali Khan, I think he's to work there or help with the building, whatever, he called him and he said to him, "You know what?" He told him about the dream. He told him about Noman Ali Khan. And then, can you believe this? He is to, from his bed, is to do a Google search. And in the Google search, he learned about Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He wanted to learn the Quran, and he took him to a website of Noman Ali Khan. And through that inspiration, I think he has also learned 1/3 of the Quran. Now, the reason I'm just sharing this, and there are many, many stories I can share with you, is the fact that Allah wants you to succeed. Allah wants you to leave a legacy behind. So you got to ask yourself, firstly, is my life purpose-led? The second question, is my life value-laden? And the third thing, is my life soul-guided? These are important questions. Do I have purpose in my life? What is my purpose? Working and coming back from work is a means. That is not your purpose. The purpose is greater. We are born to be vicegerents. What are the values that underpin your life? And last but not least, is it soul guided? So I am really beseeching each one of you to relook at yourself. And what I want now, I would like at least 5 people, through show of hands, will allow you to participate. Please do that. I like a participatory audience here. I would like you to share what you have done differently, what you intend to do differently, please. So I'm giving you 2 minutes, right? Not 2 minutes, do it immediately. Can we do it, right? And I would like the organizers, the hosts, to allow anyone that has raised their hand, if they go to the place at the bottom and it says reactions, am I right? Is it reactions? Not reactions, when it says, is it chat? Not a chat, but okay. Even if you were to show your thumbs up,
Under
the
participants.
reaction will get you to say, please, brothers, we want it to be interactive. Come on. Anyone, please? Okay. Can you organize it? There is one I can see here. Anyone else here? Come on, come on. Right. Okay. Can you allow the person to ask me a question, please? Is it Gumez? Anyone? Come on, come on. Nigeria is my favorite place, man. Whenever people ask me where's the best place you've given talks, I say Nigeria. I said because the people are very, very energized, they're active, they participate, they ask questions, they're supportive. Come on, anyone? Come on, come on. So you haven't been doing your homework, right? Come on, please.
Okay, there's Zakaria Bako. Let me. Zakaria Bako.
Do you have anyone, Abdul Rashid?
Yes, I have a hand up. I'm trying to unmute him.
Come on, the time is ticking.
Okay, I'm coming.
I think they are sleeping.
No,
I
they're
think
not.
they are sleeping.
I'm trying to. Okay, so Zakaria Bako, please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, thank you, Daddy. We spoke last week and you gave me some advice. Alhamdulillah, I've tried to implement. The journey has not been easy, but there's progress little by little.
No, so alhamdulillah. You know what? I'm so happy to hear that. Remember something, once you embark on a new journey, there are going to be obstacles. And I always say this, the bend in the road is not the end in the road unless you fail to take the bend. But I'm so glad. So Zakaria, thank you so much. It's so reassuring, right? So reassuring. Because, you know, you can listen to many, many talks. The talks become nothing if you have not implemented in your life. And the best way of learning is to teach others. The best way of learning is to teach others. If you want to remember any presentation, take down notes and share it to their family, right? I see Mariam here. Is this Mariam Limo?
No.
If it's her, I'd like her to show me a thumbs up.
Okay, so we have another person, Hadiza Mohammed, who wants to speak.
Okay, please. Okay, will you do that?
Hadiza, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. What I'm doing differently now is trying to worry less. From last week's discussion, I have actually put it in a diagram, and I've called it the circle of useless worrying. So I've got a pictorial form on my wall that talked about your percentages, you know, last week. So whenever something comes to mind that is going to take me down the road of worry, I just keep chanting to myself, you know, useless worrying, useless worrying, useless worrying. So that is something that I'm doing differently. Yes.
Excellent. You see, one of the things that I recommend to people, you've got to say to yourself, what is the worst case scenario? And ask yourself, is my worrying, is it helping me or is it bringing me down? Is my worrying the figment of my imagination or is based on a reality? Right? And the best way of worrying less is to surrender to Allah.
Yes, indeed.
Surrender to Allah. Give the issue to Allah, and inshallah, Allah will look out. Jazakumullah. Come on, I just need three more people. Come on, my brothers and sisters, my Nigerian brothers and sisters.
I think she has another thing to say.
Okay. Carry on.
So what I'm also doing differently is whatever it is that I learn, I make it a point to teach. So that's another thing. And
very good.
Yes, to share whatever it is that I learn, you know, to find, you know, opportunities, or to even say to people, okay, so this is something that I've learned, you know, that I think is useful for you, you know, also to know. So very, very, very important. And the 5-second rule as well. I'm applying that. So if it needs to be done, let it be done immediately, because
Very good. No, I'm so glad for you, and I wish you well.
Is crazy. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Allah bless you. Allah bless everyone else. Come on. Who else? Come on. Anyone else you got? Anyone else? Come on, come on. This is very disappointing. I'm no more going to say good things about you, guys. No more. No more. No more. No more. Come on, come on. There has to be other people.
Okay, so there's also another person. I don't know what your name is, but Galaxy S10. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Tell us your name.
My name is Khatija Mullah. I am from Durban. Sorry, I just got a new phone, so that's why my name is Galaxy.
Khatija Mullah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
Wonderful, mate. You know, I'm so glad you are in. Talk to me, Khatija.
Well, I've decided I need to put myself first in relationships.
Right.
And also raising the bar of my standards.
Very good. Very good. And I know you, Khatija. You got the enthusiasm, inshallah, to do that, really. Yeah, Jazak. Are you finding this program useful?
Very useful. I actually got my mom last week to actually sit in, and with the, you know, the 5, the reflections or something, I actually wrote down for her. And one of them was time management, stay healthy kind of thing. So she kind of enjoyed the talk.
Alhamdulillah. Anyway, Khatija, thank you so much for your participation. Come on. We just need one more now. One more. One more. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Where? Come on. No other hands up. No other hands up. One more, one more. Come on, don't let me down, please. Okay. Okay. Gumeds.
Is there somebody?
Anyone? No one? Come on, one more, please. Don't be shy. Okay. Right. Anyway. Right. I tried there. Right. Okay. Right. Now. So the next important thing is this. You got to ask yourself this very important question. Right? You got to ask yourself this very, very important question. The question is, ask yourself, what is it that is getting me down? You got to also understand what are your barriers to what you want to achieve. What is it? Right? What is it? And this is important. What is it that is bringing me down? Why am I complacent and satisfied with mediocrity? Why am I satisfied being in the background? Why? Why am I a person that continues to do the same things the same way every day? Why? So these questions are important questions for you to answer. So it's very critical for you to identify that. Look back at it. Look at the source of it. And then you must start affirming yourself. And remember, and I said this to you, and I'll say it again, the only thing that is under your control is your attitude. You can control it. You can say to yourself, I'm going to be happy, and I'll make sure I'm going to do it. Ask yourself, what is holding me back? Then I want you to change it, to adopt a new paradigm, to adopt a new attitude. Let it become a part of who you are. I'll give you a simple story, simple thing. When a person is despondent, he would sit like this, his head will be bent. It doesn't help. If I don't want to be despondent, I must perk up, take a breath of fresh air. Immediately, my whole mind, it has changed. So it all depends on you. Because if you do not make the change now, you are going to regret it in the twilight years of your life. So you've got to ask yourself this question: what are the barriers to my success? What is holding me back? And this is very, very fundamental. And the other very important thing is this, and I would like you, to make a note of it, to make a note of the fact that I sometimes worry about silly things. And our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam reminded us, this is very, very important. He reminded us that we should think about our youth, the benefit of 5 before 5, the benefit of 5 before 5, your youth before your old age, your health before your sickness, your wealth before your poverty, your free time before your preoccupation, and your life before your death. How powerful is this? Eh? I repeat that. Your youth before your old age, your health before your sickness, your wealth before your poverty, your free time before your preoccupation, and your life before your death. So it's very, very important, very, very important for you, for each one of you, to reflect on that. Very important is this, that I also want to reflect on the following. You see, you may not be in control of what happens to you, but you are completely responsible for your reaction to what happens to you. What I would like, Abdul Rashid, hello?
I can hear you. I can hear
Okay,
you.
okay. I want you to unmute everyone.
Okay.
Have you unmuted everyone?
I'm coming.
Okay, let me do it.
Mm,
Okay, unmuted, finish, right?
Okay.
Are they unmuted? Okay, fine. Okay. Wait 1 second. Sorry about this. So there's something funny happening. Right. Okay. Right. All of you unmuted. Have you unmuted?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I want you, when I finish these 4 statements, each statement I finish, I want you to say you are right. Will you do that? All of you, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
No, you're like turning dead. Yes. Come on.
Yes.
I want more energy. Say yes.
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 Yeah, come on, man. Where's the Nigerian energy and enthusiasm? Say yes.
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 Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
okay, right. So, yeah, okay, fine. Now, after each statement, I want you to say yes. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you are completely responsible for your reaction to what happens to you. Say yes.
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 Okay, next one. Everyone faces limitations of some kind. Limitations are guidelines and not stop signs. Say yes.
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 Hello?
Yes.
We can
The
hear you.
past is gone and is outside your control. You are responsible for not allowing it to control you in the present. Say yes.
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 Hello? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
The last one. You may
Yes.
be abused in the past. It's all left to you to take responsibility for the future. Say yes.
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 Okay, right. Okay, mute everyone. Mute everyone. Right. Right. Mute everyone. Mute all. Yeah, mute all.
Yes.
Okay, they all muted.
Yes,
Okay.
mute.
Right. The potential we have is so great, it's unbelievable. And if you look at life itself, you look at individuals, who are the people that made a difference? These are the people who have understood the capacity they have to affect the lives of so many people. Our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, before he was born, he lost his father. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Right. Our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam lost his mother very soon. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, he lost people around him. He was born in a desert. If you were to share that background with anyone, they will tell you that this person, this young boy, right, will not be of any significance. Yet he is the highest of Allah's creation. So I want you to reflect a bit and think in your own mind, right? And you can put it in the chat. Think in your own mind. And now I want all of you to put it in the chat and say one thing that is holding you back. One thing that is holding you back. Come on, can we do that now? One thing that is holding you back. And I want to show you whatever you say, I would respond to. Right? Come on, please, all of you. What is holding you back? Right? Okay. Very interesting. Come on, I want everyone. Right? People are saying fear, uncertainty, fear of failure, myself, fear of rejection, you're overwhelmed, fear of not doing enough, fear of basic rights for my husband, fear, lack of basic rights for my husband. What else? Come on. All of you there, come on. Yes, you see, fear is really the figment of our imagination. What you fear doing now, you'll regret it when you are in bed, the twilight years of your life. You got a few months to live. You look back and say, why did I allow people to get me down? Why? I was born to fly, right? Why? Why? Right. Also, some people spoke about painful past experiences. Remember this. You've got to get closure of the past. We are told with every heartache there will be ease. And remember this, you cannot live in the past. And I said to you, the past is a point of reference. It is not your residence. Lack of confidence, right? Lack of confidence. Why? You need to become confident, take small steps, read, believe in yourself, have high self-esteem. Someone said taking care of children. Yes, okay, these are responsibilities, but you should be able to manage your time, right? Okay, can someone just copy all the book titles and put it back there on the bottom, because some of them have not come across. Abdul Rashid, can you do that? Hello?
Okay.
Just
Okay, I
copy it
will.
and put it up again here, because some of them have is there, right? So fear is something, remember, right? People have a different definition of fear also, right? Fear, they say, is a figment of your imagination, right? What should fear stand for? Fear can stand for a number of acronyms you can make up in your own mind now, right? You could say, okay, let's look at an acronym for fear. Yes, that's a good one. Zina said now. I remember this: false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. That's a very popular one. False evidence appearing real. It is false evidence, right? So you got to understand this, right? Remember this. The power of prayer is so great. So you should not allow this to get you down, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just 5 minutes conclusion. Then I want to take in questions, please, right? Right. One of the things that I mentioned, Abdul Rashid asked me to speak about it now. Inshallah, next Saturday, inshallah, the organizer will give you a link. I'm doing a program called Premarital Conversations and Beyond. Premarital Conversations and Beyond. Inshallah, it's based on the book that I wrote with a friend of mine, right? And so I'd like you to participate in it, inshallah, right? And send the link or inform people throughout the world. So I want to just spend time, and I mentioned this. Studies have shown when you give children positive attributes, when you give them positive attributes, they'll fulfill what you have said to them. If you tell your children, if you tell someone, you know what, I believe in you. You're the kind of person that comes on time for meetings. Whether he comes or not, he'll begin to come because you have certain expectations of him. If you tell your daughters and your son, you know, Fatima, inshallah, someday you're going to be a leader. So it's very, very important that you also have that positive self-talk. You say to yourself, someday I'm going to be a leader. Someday I'm going to be a leader, but it starts now. It starts this very, very moment. That's very important, right? And encouragement is very, very critical. The second thing, I might have shared this with you about a study that was done that showed that encouragement is better than praise. There were two groups of classes, and both of them did very well for a test. The one teacher was told to tell the class, you are brilliant, you're unbelievable, you're like geniuses. The other teacher told the class, you know, you all did well, you know, but I'm sure, you know, you'll have the ability to do better. Then they were put together in one class, and then they were asked, how many of you would like to write another test which is going to be a little more difficult? You will not believe it. The class that was encouraged all said they want to participate. But none of the kids that were praised were prepared to participate. You know why? They were put in such a pedestal, they realized that they might fall from there, fall from grace as it were. You understand, right? So that's an important test. So what I want to say to you is this: like anyone in life, you cannot be like a reed in the water, moving whatever direction the river takes you. But you must say to yourself, I need to confront my true self. I need to get my family to confront me. And I will tackle all the issues in my life with flair and confidence. If I need to diversify my skills, I will learn the skills. If I need to understand how Excel sheets work, I'm going to do that. If I need, and as I'm going to present a program in 2 weeks' time, to develop the art of public speaking, so I'm going to do that. So what I want in the last 10 or so minutes, I would like you to ask me questions. You can either ask me in the chat, or you could ask me, I'd like to hear your voice, and you could ask me that. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So if you have any questions, please signify by raising your hands or putting it in the chat box. Okay, so Daddy, I'll go first.
Right, okay, please. Don't be shy.
Okay, I won't be shy. Okay, so
Okay.
I got a message from a close friend of mine who was in a conversation, and the conversation went thus: that if as a parent you found out that your son is gay or your daughter is lesbian, what would you do as a Muslim parent?
Yeah, you see, sadly, that is becoming a little more conspicuous in the community, right? The important thing is this, that you got to look at the underlying reasons for it. And remember, no one is born like that. It is your circumstances and your environment that contributes to it. Because I deal with many such cases. You got to identify what it is. What it is. Now, there are some reasons that I'll share with you. Often when kids, especially boys, if they are mollycoddled, they're overprotected, what happens? They lose their masculinity. They become effeminate. So when they grow up, they are looking for a strong partner, and they see it in someone else. The other thing that contributes to it is the marital relationship between husband and wife. And if that relationship is one that is romantic and loving and respectful, children would embrace the institution of marriage. The third thing is this, that I've come across, is when children are left on their own, when they begin to experiment amongst themselves, you know, the same gender, that can also contribute to it. So how do you deal with it? That it is haram, they know about it. You got to first win the confidence over. Do not chastise them. Build up a relationship with them. And then seek the answers. Find out the underlying reasons. You know, by asking them, when did it first start? When did you start feeling differently, as it were? And all of those things. And then I always believe that you must stay in relationship with them. Stay, leave the door open. Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. The prayers of parents are accepted. So the three things that I would do: firstly, build up the confidence. Secondly, try to ascertain what the knowledge of the deen is. then get them dynamic lecturers who are very inspirational and stimulating. They need to listen to them or engage with them. And thirdly, you also need to find out who their friends are, right? Who their friends are. And try to look at the underlying reasons. And having done that, in the end, of course, you're going to pray for them. And inshallah, you make dua that Allah guides them. There's much more to say, but in this short thing, I'll just mention that, right? Okay.
All right, thank you so much. So, Shukra Balogun, please unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
I want to appreciate that lecture. Thank you very much, sir. May Allah continue to guide you. Now, my question is, I've not been following this lecture for the past 2 weeks, but I used to miss it. But for today, I really enjoyed my stay here. So I want to ask, because you asked us about our fears and what is really holding us back. Now, for me, it is a lot of time I think big and I dream big a lot. I want to do this. I want to do that. And really, I start well. But along the line, maybe something happened. I don't usually finish what I start. And every time I want to start up a new project, there's this new idea I'm crazy about, I want to do. There's always this fear of, oh, you're not going to complete it. You can't do this or something like that. So, okay, fine. If I had to encourage myself with positive affirmation and okay, fine, a lot of courage, you can do this, and I start, then there's a still inner voice from within that, okay, makes me feel that you're not going to finish this, do it later, something really stopping me right from within, and it happens every time. I don't know what to do. Yes.
No, really. Now, what you are going through, many people go through the same thing. Nation. What you need to do, basically, you got to say to yourself that this project I want you to do. Give yourself a timeline and say how many hours a day you need to do this. Then you say to yourself, imagine that you have completed this task. How would you feel? Enjoy the feeling of euphoria, the feeling of excitement. You know, you can have many ideas, but it's important that whilst you may do some things simultaneously or concurrently, but try to focus on one item at a time, take small incremental steps. And once you do it, and do not allow the whispering of shaitan to affect your focus. You got to be focused, right? You got to be focused. And inshallah, if you do that, you are going to do well. So you need to also have people around you, and you share with them what you want to do, people around you that will support you, right? I mean, I never thought in my life I'd be writing books. Never, right? Never. But you know, I've written 3 books already, written a lot of blogs, and I intend to write many more books, inshallah, right? And I never thought, for example, that I had the capacity. I was so nervous to speak that I'll be conducting workshops in about 30 countries. You know what I'm saying? So it's about, you see, procrastination also comes from a lack of self-belief, right? It's also the fear of the unknown, right? Because you have not completed tasks before, you think the same thing now. And you've got to change that attitude. And you've got to put that part of your diary every day and make it the first thing that you ever do. And inshallah, you'll come right. It's about looking ahead and enjoying the feelings of success in anticipation. You understand? Otherwise, if you allow the negative thinking, it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much. So there's a question here. How do I remember what I read? I would like to tie that up with what are your views about mindfulness in Islam?
Okay, right. The few things I'll try to answer all of that. One of the habits that I had, I used to have with me certain cards, blank cards. So when I used to read a book that I found very interesting, right? But today you can take a photograph of it. Take a photograph of a paragraph, an idea, write it down. In that way you remember. And our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was one Sahaba, said to him, "O Prophet of Allah, whenever you speak, I forget." So Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told him 3 times, write, write, write. Writing it becomes very important. Once you write it out, then what you need to do, the best way of learning is to teach it to others. To tell someone, you know what, I came across this wonderful book, man, and this particular sentence really gripped me. I love it. And in that way, inshallah, you remember it, right? The other one, the question is asked, right.
Mindfulness
I feel
in
that I
Islam.
do not deserve success. I'm afraid. How can I? You see, remember this, right? You know, as someone said, I can understand when a child is afraid of the dark, but I cannot forgive an adult who is afraid of the light, right? So it's very important, very, very important. The critical thing is this: you have to overcome that. You've got to be positive, because once you succeed, it opens new doors, you develop yourself, and really you are in a position of greater strength and influence. Remember that. That's your imagination. You've got to do that, please. There's nothing to be afraid of, right? I want to recommend a book called Finish. Give yourself the gift of book done by John. Okay, if it's a great book,
Yes,
I'll
so
order it
there's
now.
a question on
Jazakumullah then.
there's a question on mindfulness. What are your views about mindfulness
Yeah.
in
Listen,
Islam?
there's nothing wrong with mindfulness, as long as their mindfulness is underpinned. You see, what do you mean by being mindful? Mindful meaning that you are present. That's very, very important. There are many ways to be present, right? Firstly, making zikr, you are present. By being present, you become aware of your environment around you, right? When you're mindful, you become more reflective, you become aware of what you are saying and how you go about saying it, right? So all day in Islam, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But do not allow, if there are rituals in a particular program that goes against the grain of Islam, you don't need that. In Islam, all of us are supposed to be mindful people, aware that we are sensitive to other people's feelings, we are sensitive what we say also, right? Jazakumullah.
There's Mariam Lawal. Mariam, please unmute yourself. Mariam Lawal, please unmute yourself and speak.
Okay,
Mariam.
It was an error.
Okay, Kiran.
Okay. Okay, Mariam. Okay, no. Is there any other person?
Okay, the others too yet. I seem to have many ideas and goals. What's the best way to prioritize? You need to write it all down, brainstorm it, right? Then put it in terms of importance, right? And then what you need to do, and accordingly, you need to have weekly, monthly, and quarterly goals, how you want to do it. And how many of those things you want to do concurrently in a week. It's very, very important. It must come organically from you, right? Now, how can one make positive self-talk naturally to someone? Yes, you see, you got to talk to yourself, right? I do that before I speak. I say, hey, inshallah, I'm going to do a great job. Right? I believe in myself. Thank you, Allah. You understand? You got to do that. You got to force it. Initially, it become mechanical, and afterwards, inshallah, it become natural, right? Okay. Anyway,
Any other
if there are no more
question?
questions, I want to say to Abdul Rashid, Jazakumullah for engaging me. Someone asked a question, can we get the recordings, please?
Inshallah,
I'm
you
sure
will.
they will
You
do
get
that.
it.
Yeah, so may Allah bless you all. Allah give you
Ameen.
strength. I really enjoyed reconnecting. Abdul Rashid, I've done
Thank you
this
so
for
much.
Allah. I've done it because of my relationship with you, right?
Alhamdulillah.
I'm so busy, but I said there's something that I want to do for you, inshallah. Right?
Jazakallah.
And
May
also,
Allah continue
please,
to. Okay.
Kiran?
May Allah continue to honor you too and protect you and continue to illuminate your path. We thank you so much for making out time to speak with us. And Jazakumullah khairan. Your
And
talk has been
also,
very.
I want all those people that are thanking me in the chat. May Allah bless you for your kind words also. And I'll also pray for all of you. I say it now. May Allah bless you all, protect you all. May you unleash potential. May tomorrow be
Ameen.
better than today. May next week
Ameen.
be better than this week of year. So
Ameen.
really, Allah
Ameen.
bless you. I love you. And I say, I like it. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next week when we'll be starting our Mercy series, which is going to be conducted by Brother Jubril Alao. So Brother Jubril Alao is going to be speaking for the next 3 Sundays, inshallah, about mercy. Especially in these times when most of us have lost hope. And so he's going to be redirecting us to putting our hope in Allah and believing that Allah is most merciful. Thank you so much, everybody. So we look forward to seeing you next week. I wish you a lovely week ahead. Barakallahu fi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, so I'll be ending the section in like a minute. So you can all drop our message, and the recordings will be shared as usual via email. Yeah, let's stay tuned and follow us on social media. You can always drop your comments. Your comments, do like us, and we'd always respond to your DM. Yeah, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.